With Halloween basically over, aside from my little party that I have to host this weekend, we're going to be transitioning into Thanksgiving and Christmas and that whole holiday rush. And today we're going to be putting together a Scarecrow gift/treat box. It'll be wonderful to give as a host or hostess gift. And actually a lot of the items in this bundle are specifically for that. So when you go to visit family for Thanksgiving or are attending a friend's Thanksgiving and you want to bring them something nice and display it and present it in a beautiful DIY, personal sort of way, these are just the items that you need. So let's take a look at what we have here. And we're going to start off by putting together the hat. I think it's a pretty easy little piece to start with. So that's what we're going to do. And what we want to do is find these pieces here, okay? These are the panels for the top of the hat. This is the brim of the hat. We also have this little piece. It's going to go around the base of the hat. And then you want to find these little pieces here. Now, we have a lot of these. Some of them are what make up the hair. But there's 8 of these, and they kind of look like this. They're very straight, and then they kind of flare out a little bit. There's 8 of those, so you want to get those prepped as well. And then we have a little sunflower that's going to go on his hat. And there's a little leaf, 2 sets of petals, and then some pieces that go in the middle of that. There's a nice brown piece, which I need to find so that we're all on the same page here. Where are you, Mr. Brown piece? There you are. There's this little piece here. And then we have, where did he go? Where did he go? Okay, so we've got this piece, and then a really tiny little piece right there. Okay, and those are all gonna go on top of each other to create our little sunflower. Okay, so those are all the pieces that you're gonna need for this. So let's get started with this piece here. And what we want to do is we want to fold everything at the score marks, just like that. Use your table to get the nice creases so you don't end up warping the paper at all. And you'll notice that there's these 2 pieces when they join together. You can see the difference here. One's a little bit shorter. And this is the piece that's going to go behind this piece, and we're going to glue that behind this piece here. So let's get our glue going here. And get a nice line right up to the edge there. Okay. And just tuck that right behind. Make sure that it's nice and even at the bottom here. And you can actually lay this down flat to help you. Okay, give that a second. And there we go. Okay. And the next thing we can do, and actually it doesn't matter which order we do this in, I would probably suggest that we connect these 2 pieces first. So grab the brim of the hat here and let's fold these tabs up. Okay, and then kind of scooch them in like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this piece over those little tabs, and then from the other side we're going to take and we're going to glue those tabs down to the inside of the little cone shape. So I'm just going to start with 1, and you don't need to put a ton of glue on this, just kind of in the middle, okay? And let's get that first one glued down in place, nice and even, just to kind of set the tone for the rest of them. Okay, so I'm gluing that one down. I'm kind of pushing down a little bit. I'm pushing this side here, the top of the hat, up against the little brim. Make sure that it's nice and centered. Make sure that it's nice and level. I'm going to put this down on my surface here. Make sure that it's nice and flat, and it is. I'm going to pick it back up and just give it a little squeeze, a little push, and that seems to have worked nicely. So then I'm gonna go over to the opposite side from where we just were. Throw a little bit of glue right there, not a lot. And pop that tab down. Make sure that it's all the way up against the brim, nice and centered. Just give it a squeeze. Okay, and that looks good. And then, so if this is 12 and this is 6, let's go over to the 3 or the 9 o'clock. And glue that one down, just making sure that it's nice and flush against the brim of the hat. Okay, real quick, simple. And let's get this piece on now. And again, just make sure that it's nice and flush with the brim. Okay, and then just finish off the rest of them. Just a little bit of glue, not a lot. Give it a quick little push. The less glue you use, the faster it's going to stick. Okay, if you put a whole ton of glue on there, you're going to be sitting around waiting for it to dry, and then it's going to warp your paper. You don't want that. There we go. Just like that. Got a couple more. Actually, this might be the last one. Okay, just gonna try to flip these up, make sure I didn't miss any. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's that. And next what we can do is we can take this piece here, and I wanted to connect this top to the brim because this kind of doing so pretty much centers this thing for us. It moves a little bit, but not as much as it would if this middle piece wasn't there. So let's grab this and let's get our glue on it. And I'm doing just a little bit towards the inside, and then of course I'm going to make sure that I give that perimeter a little extra love so that it doesn't come peeling off. We want that to be nice and flush. I'm going to take that and just kind of spread that glue out to the edge as much as I can. Here we go. And just take that, lay it over. Don't put it down until you're sure that you've got it nice and centered. And that looks pretty good. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, that is looking sharp. Next, we're going to take this piece and we're going to glue it down like so. Okay. So what I would suggest doing is probably starting in the middle somewhere. Let's put some glue on one of the middle sections here. It's kind of hard to tell where it begins and ends because of this pattern, but that's fine. And every side looks pretty much the same as far as quality of work and how well I did it. So I'm just going to start pretty much wherever, get that glued in place. You can kind of squeeze like that. Make sure that this part is nice and flush with the bottom. Okay. Let that set, and then we'll go around and glue the rest of these down. And you can probably get away with doing the rest of these in one fell swoop here. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's a pretty simple piece. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get my glue on the rest of these. But most importantly, this edge piece, get some glue right out to the very edge. And just make sure that, get that all the way across there. And it should hug this piece nicely. If you're noticing that it's not hugging it very nicely, then you need to scoot it down a little bit. You might have it a little too high. That's really the only reason why it wouldn't sit flush. And you can see here with this paper that, let's see, where's my red ink? I just had it. Folding it sort of exposed some of that white. So all I'm going to do is just grab my little ink pad and hit that with a little red to cover up that white that's showing through. There we go. Just clean it up a little bit. That looks nice. Okay, and then the other side here. Get our glue on the other side of these little panels. I'm really digging the consistency of the glue today that my bottle's spitting out. I don't know. Just some days it just decides that it wants to cooperate, and other days it just doesn't. But that's okay. All right, so just make sure that it's nice and flush up against the brim, or the top of the hat, I should say. And it should pretty much meet right there. Give it a good squeeze towards the bottom. Okay, I've got a little bit of red showing through there too. And there we go. Okay, so now, yeah, let's see here. I've got some areas up here that, oh, that looks good. Okay, we've got this little band that's going to go around the hat here, and we want to keep that nice and flush up against the bottom as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by gluing one of the center pieces here. So let's get our glue on this. I did emboss this with a nice, kind of like a swirly fall embossing folder. So I'm just going to lay that down so that it's nice and flush and nice and centered. We want it to sit right in the center of this so that when you fold this over, these folds match this fold. And that looks good. Okay, and then we can take and glue the rest of these in place. Now, the embossing folder that I used is a little, kind of ripped up the paper a little bit, but it's okay, because we could have made it so that all these pieces were individual and you would have had to glue them on separately. So even that, if that was the case, and you still would have had a little gap there, but it actually looks fine. And this is a Scarecrow. He's been out in the sun protecting the crops, so I'm sure he's been battered a little bit, and that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna glue that last little tab down, making sure that I get the glue right out to the very edge so that that doesn't come pulling away. Okay, there we go. And then we'll take and get our glue on the rest of these. And as long as you just get enough glue on there for it to sit, it'll be just fine. And then again, make sure that last piece there on the end that you get plenty of glue right at the very edge so that it doesn't come pulling away from its resting place. That sounded kind of drab. It's okay though. Okay, so there we have our little hat so far, almost done. We've got the little hair pieces that we got to put in there still. Okay, so the way this is gonna work is we're actually gonna glue these to the inside here. Okay, and then when we're done, we're gonna kind of flare them out to give them a little love. Now you can see here that there's a little fold, so you wanna put your glue on the little fold area, and you can take one finger, pop it in there, and just glue that right in, like that. Just like that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little dowel, and I'm actually just gonna curl this like that. This was also embossed, so it kind of loosened up some of the fibers in the paper, so it may not curl as well, but as you can see, it actually does a pretty good job. Okay, so just make sure that you're getting your glue all the way up to the very edge of where that little score mark is, okay? And then we can just pop that next one right in, get it right up to that score mark, and just press and hold that in place for just a few seconds while it sets. Now I'm not going to curl these each time here because I don't want to bore you, but I'll show you how I did that again in just a moment. Just keep on working here. I'll get the next one in. So where that crease is, that's where the very beginning of it is going to start showing above the hat. Okay. So this is actually, it looks complicated, but it's really not. It's not a very complicated project at all. And so far, it's going together pretty quickly, actually. I was kind of deciding whether or not I would start with this one or end with this one, because I thought that this one would be the most time-consuming, but I'm starting to think that maybe it won't be, because it actually is a pretty straightforward piece. Now, of course, I did some inking on all these pieces beforehand, and I think what I need to do is put together a little video showing how I ink, just so that I can reference that one video and show you the few techniques that I've kind of, I don't want to say developed. I haven't developed any inking techniques, but the ones that I think suit me the best and give me the best results. It's very easy to go pretty wild with the ink, and I don't like that look. I like a more subtle, uniform sort of look on my inking, except for when the occasion calls for something a little more crazy, like maybe like a Halloween project or something. Okay. All right, so just working my way down here, and then like I said, we'll go ahead and get the rest of these curled, and when we curl them, we're going to just kind of curl them and make sure that there's a little variation. We don't want them all to be the same. I've never seen a Scarecrow that had a good hair day. Let's just put it that way. Okay. And last one here. Get that in place. I'm just kind of squeezing right where that glue is back there. Okay. All right, so just kind of going around here, I'm just going to take and just kind of curl these and just vary it so that it's random. I can just kind of take that one like that. Just curl the top of that one a little bit. Maybe bring this one down a little more. That one like that. Maybe this one's going to really come down. like a lot. There we go. Okay, and then kind of tuck them in together like that, and there you go. Okay, so hat's pretty much done, minus our little flower here. So with the flower, we're going to take and just curl the petals. Probably should have used a bigger dowel. There we go. Just kind of give that a curl, just like that. Then we're going to take, and making sure I don't lose this little piece here. I'm going to take these petals, and you can see that I ink these and I also emboss them. And we're going to take and just kind of pinch the little petal to give it some dimension. So just kind of stick it between your two fingers, maybe just slightly like put it on top of your fingers and then push down to create a little crease, and then just take your fingers and pinch it like that. Okay, there we go. You can do the same thing to this one. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to take these two and place them on top of each other, offsetting them so they create this shape. You don't want them right on top of each other. You want to show off both of them. Just going to get a little bit of glue right in the center of one of them, and just press that right on there. Make sure you got it nice and centered. Okay. And then, once that's done, you can take that, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this. And we're going to glue that right to this piece here, like so. I'd probably try to get it as centered as you can, but I mean, it's fine. Okay, we can kind of flare these up a little bit, make them pop. There we go. Okay, and then we've got these three little pieces here. I'm going to throw that one on there. I'm going to grab a Zot for that. Let me find my Zots. It looked a little too flat on the prototype, so I'm gonna give that a little bit of oomph, like that. Okay, and then we've got this little piece here. I'm gonna glue that to the center of this piece, just like that. That's pretty good. And then this tiny, tiny little piece is going to get glued to the center of that. Whoops. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, so at this point, the hat is going to sit on our Scarecrow. The two eyes are going to be on this side, so we kind of want to position the little flower somewhere around here. Okay, probably like that. I'm going to grab a Zot and put that on the back of this thing, our little flower. Okay. Oops, get out of there, mister. Okay, so again, I'm gonna pop it right about here. There we go. Okay, so you can see how that's starting to look. That's gonna be the center of the face. The little flower is gonna be sticking off there. Maybe move it a little bit so it's forward facing a little bit more. But there's our hat. Super quick. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna construct the actual Scarecrow. And we're gonna start off by putting together the base, which is comprised of these pieces here. Okay, so you wanna take, and first and foremost, get everything nice and folded at the score lines. And last time, kind of did this off camera to save some time, but it only takes a few seconds. Okay, so we're gonna do the other one too. We're gonna get both of these connected to create one long piece, and then we're gonna put it all together. There we go. Okay, so grab both of these pieces. You'll notice that there's a little triangular score mark, or a tab, I should say, on both sides, so it doesn't matter which one. They're both identical pieces. And let's get our glue right on there. You can lay this down flat, and if you have one of these mats with lines on it, use your lines to make sure that it's nice and level, I guess. Call it level. And then you can kind of flip it onto itself just to make sure that you got it nice and lined up, because these pieces should mirror each other. And just hold that in place for a second. It's going to kind of hold this all in place for us while we're connecting everything. So that should be good enough. It doesn't matter which side you start from. What we're going to do is we're just going to take these tabs here. So one at a time here. Get a little glue on this tab. Make sure you work some of it out to the edge, like so. Whoops. And tuck that behind its neighbor and get that glued in place. Just like that. And then just move on over to the next one. Again, just make sure that you're getting that glue out to the very edge so we get a nice clean connected seam. You got nothing pulling off, pulling up. Okay, so moving right along to our next piece here. And again, I mention this time and time again, less glue is more. Just makes the project look cleaner, makes it go faster. So don't overdo it with the glue. So you can see now it's nice. I mean, you can't even tell I glued it because there's no glue squirting out. Looks nice and clean, and it's pretty much already set. I mean, it might move a little bit if you really tug on it, but for the most part, it's set. It ain't going anywhere. There we go. Okay. Next one. There we go. That hat was actually really fun to assemble. Surprisingly, pretty quick. There we go. All right, a couple more. And then that one will be done. Then we can start working on his head. There we go. All right, so now we're going to connect these two. I'm going to start with the small little triangular tab. Just a few little dots of glue. I'm going to spread that out, get it right out to the very edge, and get that connected nice and even. Make sure you align it nicely. Give it a squeeze. And then we'll glue that other tab in place. And we'll put the bottom on. Got a nice little liner It's going to go around the side here just to kind of finish it off and make it look nice. Okay, so this last tab here, you can see that when I just fold it over, I'm going to put the glue on from the inside. It might be a little hard to do it from the other side. Okay, and scooch that in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so there is that. Now we're going to do, so we're going to take this large piece here and we're going to glue this down. Now I'm going to start by gluing just one of the tabs down. That's what I call our anchor point. So go ahead and get your glue on your little anchor tab. Spread that out nicely. Grab this piece, and I need a little dot right here, because otherwise that's not going to sit flush. Okay, and line that up. Get it nice and centered. And push that down once you have it in the right spot, and then you can actually put it down on your surface and push from the inside. This is the tab here that we just glued down. I'm using my table for leverage so that I don't crease anything. And voila, our first piece is in place. Looks really good. Now we are going to have to glue this down in one shot here. I'm going to go a little bit heavier on the glue here because I have to factor in the drying time. This stuff is going to dry pretty quick, and then of course you gotta go a little quick here and get some lines around the edges. Spin it like a cake. Get those lines on there. This is kind of like, it's almost like competitive surgery. If there was a competitive surgery competition, I bet we could do pretty good. Okay, just spread that out and then flare these up just a little bit so as we're pushing down, it grabs more of that surface area. And then focus on making sure that the front, the opposite side of the one that we anchored, is aligned correctly. The rest of them, it'll help the rest of them kind of align as well. You may need to kind of nudge a wall here or there to get everything to align nicely. But that's it right there. And then we can push from the inside to really get that to stick. And then if for some reason there's a little area that maybe didn't get the hold that you had hoped for, you can always go back in and clean them up. And I'll show you how I do that. So you can see here, I didn't do so well on that one. So just pull a little scrap out of my garbage here. I'll show you what I do. Just take a little bit of glue, put it on one side of a piece of scrap paper, and maybe just, I had a little too much on there. Just take it, slide it in between, paint some of that glue on the top, on the upper part. So you've got some fresh glue there, and then just take that and hold it with your fingers until it's nice and flush and flat. Has a nice bond. And I got the same problem on this side. But again, it's not a problem because there's always a solution for the most part. Okay, so just going in and fixing that up. And that looks good. We'll just give that a little extra love so that it bonds nicely. And yeah, because I mean that's a lot of area to try to cover in a few seconds. The few seconds that you have before the glue sets. So don't think you should be able to do that. It's kind of ridiculous to think that you can cover all those areas and make everything look so pristine. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's really not. I mean, technically, you could douse it with glue just to make sure you've got every little area covered, but then your paper's gonna warp and it's gonna spill out everywhere. You'll notice that nowhere on any of this project so far do we have any glue leaking out anywhere, and that's really what we want. Okay, so next thing we need to do is we need to put, well, we could pretty much start anywhere, but we've got these pieces here, and actually, you know what, I need to probably hit this with a little bit of this red as well, because I forgot that. That's the wrong one. Let me get my, I think I used Potter's clay for that one. Let's try some Potter's clay right here. Yeah, that looks good. This is a DCWV paper, I believe, and not a lot, but most of their paper is white core, and with the score marks, that white kind of shows through, so I like to hide it because it's not as pretty. Okay, so this piece is going to go like this. Okay, we're going to glue this around this piece here. So what I'd probably recommend doing is starting with one of these two. So I'm going to start off by gluing one of these center sections down first, just to kind of anchor this piece. You know, we could probably do the two center sections. So just throw some glue on the two center sections, and then what you want to do is just kind of slide it right on down like that. You want to make sure that this top piece where it's flat is nice and even with the top of the base. Okay, and then these areas here where you've got the little folds, you want to make sure that those are also sitting right on where the little folds are. Okay, and that should match up perfectly. Okay, so then we can peel that back and get our glue on there. Make sure you get a little bit of glue right out to the very edge of this end piece. And I've got a little bit of excess glue there. There we go. Just like that. That looks good. And we'll peel this piece back. Get our glue on that guy. Just like that. And pop him in place. There we go. And we'll grab our other one. Same thing, just the other side. Let me get these folded. And I need to hit this again with my Potter's clay. And the cool thing about like this project, as far as inking goes, this is one of those projects where I feel like I kind of feel like if you go a little spastic with the inking, it's not the end of the world, because you know it's a Scarecrow, and he's a little raggedy, so it's fine. All right, so that looks like it's going to fit perfectly. So again, let's start with the middle two pieces here. Just throw some glue on there and make sure that you get that nice and aligned, like so. Beautiful. Give it a squeeze. Nice and flush with the top there. And then we can peel this guy back. And throw a little bit of glue on there, but especially right here at the very edge. There we go. Fold that over, and look at that. Look how perfectly that connects. That right there is fantastic. Okay, last little piece here, and our base is almost done. We've got a little panel for the bottom. It's really going to set this thing off and make it look really cool. Okay, just make sure it's nice and even there, and that matches up perfectly. Okay, cool. All right, so let's grab these two pieces here. Let me move this ink before I get it all over myself. And there's going to be some score marks on these. Just make sure that you fold them correctly so they're nice and even, like that. Just like that. So you got 4 sides on each one, and those are going to go along the edge like that. Okay, so again, let's start with just one of the inner pieces here. And let's get that glued. Use the little areas where it's folded or creased to help guide where you're putting it and where you're placing it. And then once that piece is on there, just do a little squiggly and glue that down. Give it a nice little push. Nice and gentle. Another little squiggly, and then of course right out to the very edge on that one so it doesn't come peeling back or peeling off. And place that right on there. And next one, right there. Glue that down. There we go. All right, look at that. That looks sharp. All right, so same thing with this other piece. Just get it nice and folded. As you're folding it, make sure that it sits right on top of itself so that the fold is accurate. Okay, and then we're going to start with one of the inner pieces here. That's good. And pop that right on there. Again, using the little folds as my guide. And then just give it a little push. Get that next layer on, or next section, I should say. And the last little piece. And I'm probably going to take my little ink pad and hit those edges where I see a little bit of that white showing through, just to hide it and make it look more seamless and pretty. Okay, close that up. Should meet perfectly. Kudos to the Dreaming Tree team for yet another marvelous creation. We've got a brilliant art director, Mr. Ron Gutman, and who designed this, and then Diana, who painstakingly took his design from a sketch and turned it into this beautiful creation that's just coming together flawlessly. Okay, just kind of hitting those corners there. All right, so there's our base. We got our base, we got our hat, and that's it. Just kidding. That's not it. There's more, but it's not bad because we're on the last step here. Okay. So for the head, we've got these pieces here, and what you'll notice is there are some numerals on here. There's a 1, a 2, a 3, A 4 is going to be, it's going to look like a circle. Okay, and then a circle with a 1 next to it, it looks like a 10, but that means 5. This is 6, this is 7, and this is 8. We need to make sure that we glue all these in order, okay? So, first thing I want to do is I'm going to take and just slightly train these. I'm going to go from both sides. I want to curve them a little bit. You can see the difference. So I'm going to grab my dowel and just give these a curve. It's going to help this go together a lot easier. Now this is probably going to be this is probably the most tedious part of it because we got all these tabs, but it's not bad. This is what I call your Zen mode opportunity. This is where you're really going to get into your Zen. Okay, so let's start with 1 and 2. Okay, now this little section here, this is your top. Okay, this is the bottom. These little tabs here are what we're going to use to connect these two pieces together. Okay, and what we also want to do is get our little tabs folded and ready for gluing. So this little section here actually is a valley fold, and this doesn't really matter. That's also going to be a valley fold, but it doesn't matter. And then these tabs here, doesn't really matter where or how you fold them, just so that you fold them. Now again, just make sure that you have 1 and then 2 goes to your right, okay? Okay, so here's a part where you kind of want to pay attention, just to make sure you get it right. So we've got a total of 8 sides and 8 panels, and you can see that I have them laid out here. Now, 2 of the panels, these 2, do not have any markings on them. These are going to be the face of your Scarecrow, okay? So the best way to identify these, which one's left and which one's right, is by kind of taking a look at the little stitches here, okay? The left eye is going to have a smaller stitch. It's shorter at the bottom. So there's a bottom part of the stitch and a top part of the stitch. Let me show you this so you can see it. So there's a bottom part and a top part. The top part is shorter, the bottom part is longer. So the shorter top needs to be at the bottom, and you can see here that the top stitch has a longer top and a shorter bottom. So this is your left eye, and this is the orientation that you want it at. Let me put it over here so you can see it. Okay, so notice the stitch, and notice the length of each part of the stitch. Okay, that's your left eye in that orientation. And it's going to be the same, except just on the other side of your right eye. So the longer stitch is going to be at the top. The tops, it's kind of hard to explain. Just kind of follow along here. There's 2 sections of the stitch. The top section is longer. That needs to be on top. The bottom section, the bottom stitch has a longer bottom section. Okay, that's going to make up your face. Okay, so we'll go over that again here. And then also, as far as these go, your left eye is going to start on number 1. There's a little 1 cut into this. Your right eye is going to be on number 2. So number 1 goes with this one here. Number 2 goes with this one here. So here's what I'm going to do actually, because what we're going to put these panels on after we connect this to the base. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a number 1 on here. We're going to cover that up with a panel, so you don't need to worry about it, but I'm going to put a 2 here. Okay, and then that way we know where everything else is going to go. So for now, you can move these out of the way. We're going to put the actual structure together first. Okay, And we're going to do it in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. And then we'll put our panels on. Okay, so what we want to do is, again, we're just going to start connecting the structure of our little scarecrow together here. And I'm going to start with the bottom tab here. And I'm just going to do 1 right now, just to kind of anchor it. And you want to make sure that you're following the curve and that the bottom is nice and even, nice and on the same plane, or on the same plane, I guess we'll call it. You don't want it too high or too low. You want to connect it right there so that the tabs here are on the same plane. Okay, so they should pretty much sit like that. Okay. And just make sure that that sticks nicely. And then we can move in and get glue on the next tab here. And it is time for a glue bottle cleaning break. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but I just had a little glob in there that is not cooperating. And now, of course, it's spitting out like crazy. Okay. All right, so just moving right up along the natural curve here. Just make sure that you get it nice and aligned. Okay, you see I put the number 1 and 2 on there, because the structure is not completely round. It's kind of, he's a little not cockeyed. He's just, his head's a little to the side. It makes it a little bit cuter. But so we're just going to be gluing some tabs here. Again, this is our Zen mode. So this project actually took a couple extra days to engineer, which is why I'm trying to get everything done on a Friday before my Halloween party. And I was sick the other day, so that didn't help. I'm still kind of not feeling 100%, but darn it, I've got a Halloween party to host tomorrow, so I have no choice but to get better ASAP. It's my one special time of the year, and I can't not have a party. All right, and then this little tiny little tab up here doesn't need that much glue, so don't do that. Just a tiny little bit of glue, get it connected, make sure that those corners line up nicely, and just give it a squeeze. Just like that. Okay, so that's what we should have from our first one here, and we are going to just kind of keep on rolling here. So this is 1, this is 2. Find the one that has the 3 vertical marks on it. It's basically a numeral, Roman numeral 3, and then after that we go into our own little way of numbering things, and it's mostly just to be easier on your machine. Okay, so again, let's just line that up nicely. Make sure that you're following that natural curve. And just give it a squeeze. Let's make sure that that part gets nice and anchored. Okay, and then we can flip it over and get our glue on the next little tab there and get that next piece connected. once we get that first tab intact, the rest of it just will kind of flow a lot quicker because we've got the previous tab kind of helping out the next tab. There we go. Next tab, moving right along. So I'm just going pretty easy on the glue so that I don't have to spend more than a few seconds on each little tab, because there's quite a few to get through. It's not that bad. All right, now this little triangular tab, get some glue on that and just connect those two segments together. Just make sure that the two lines, the two sections are lining up nicely. And if you're off by a little bit, it's not the end of the world. It's still gonna look great. Okay, there we go. So we've got 3 connected. All right, so now you wanna find number 4, which looks like a circle. That's this one here. I'm gonna fill this in so you can see what it looks like. Excuse me, Mr. Elderbug. Looks like that. Okay, you can see that. That's what it should look like. So just make sure that you connect 4 to 3. Okay, now if you want, if it makes it easier for you, you could start at the top if you want. I don't think it really matters. This might actually work out a little bit better because they're smaller pieces and you can kind of see where they need to sit. And just make sure that the 2 score lines are they're lining up correctly. You don't want them overlapping, you want them side by side. Okay, and then, so I'm showing you the variations and just to kind of illustrate that there's no right or wrong way to do it. Sometimes there's better ways of doing things, but either way is going to work. It's going to get you to the same end result. So this time I'm just working my way down, whichever way you want to do it. I kind of think maybe it's easier from the bottom. Maybe going from the top might be more accurate. I don't know. I think in the end, as long as you're pretty darn close, again, that 5% margin of error that I talk about, no one's really going to know. They're going to think it's just amazing either way. Because when's the last time you saw something like this made out of paper? They'll be in awe. Okay, moving right along. Next little tab. I gotta go a little easier on the glue. Again, some of it's spilling out. There we go. Now you see how much faster that one went because I didn't use that much glue. It almost instantly bonds because there's so little, but just enough. Well, hello, Mr. Elderbug. Got a lot of elderbugs in this area, and I've just kind of learned to live with them. I don't think there's anything we can do. Okay, next one is done. And yeah, you know, I think maybe starting from the top is a little more accurate. Okay, so there's what we have so far. And you can see it kind of, when you stretch it out, it's starting to kind of do that, but that's why we have the panels. And everything is gonna look great in the end, so don't worry about it. All right, let's get these tabs folded over. And now let's find number 5. Number 5 is gonna be the one that looks like a circle with a 1, like that. And let's get that in place. I'm going to dab that. That definitely helps it. Helps it hold a lot quicker. And then line that up correctly up against that score mark. Now you can see that looks kind of weird, like I'm not doing it right, but you got to make sure that these two sections are right up against each other. They're not going over the little fold. You want the fold to be butted up against the other side there. Okay, so let's move that out of the way briefly. And you know what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to do 2. And let's see if we can get away with it. I like dabbing it like that. It really gives me the coverage I need, and it makes the glue a lot thinner, which means it sets quicker. And yes, that worked beautifully. All right, let's get the next 2. Hopefully you can see that. You may not be able to see that very well because of the shadow that this piece is casting, but I think at this point you understand what we're doing here. I'll show you though. Wow, another one. You can see, there they are, 2 more tabs with glue on them. I'm just kind of spreading them nice and thin, and then I'm sticking my hand in there to get them connected. And actually just a couple squeezes, especially when you dab that glue and make it real thin, that's all you really need. And then it pretty much sticks. It's when you use too much that things slide around and come undone. It's a very tacky glue. It makes a lot of bad jokes at parties. That's why it's tacky. But it definitely just will grip it and hold it, and then it sets nice and quick. So there you go. That one went even faster. Okay, so there's 4, there's 5. Now we're moving on to 6. Let's find 6. So 6 is going to be a circle with 2 1s next to it. So let me just shade that in for you so you can see it. And you don't have to worry about the fact that I wrote on that. You can write on yours too. That's going to be hidden in the end. Okay, so we've got 4, 5. Now we're doing 6. So let's get our 6 on there. Okay. And make sure you line that up correctly so that they're back to back, right next to each other. You don't want any of these lines going over, well, this edge here, you don't want it encroaching over the edge on the other side. You want them to be lined up so that they're straight. And that's how you know that you've got it set properly. And then, let's get even crazier. Let's go 3. And I'm just going to dab that. And that's about good. And just follow that natural curve. Get it nice and aligned. There we go. Look at that. And that's what we're talking about. Now, I wouldn't rip that up right now because it's probably still hasn't fully set, but hopefully you can see those 3 tabs there. Once I put the glue on there, you'll see it. 1, 2, 3. Yep, you can see the glue. It's reflecting that light nicely. And I'm just going to dab that. Okay. And this one's going to go even faster because we did 3 at a time. Now, as we get towards the end of this here, it may be a little more difficult because there's going to be less room to get your hand in there, but the rest of the sections here should have set pretty well by now, so we should have no problem stretching this out a little bit as we continue on the way down here. I'm not worried about it coming apart. That glue is very strong, especially once it sets. Okay, so we got 4, 5, 6. We need to find 7. That is the little circle with 3 lines next to it. Okay, so there's our 7. 7 connects to 6. let's start with our little triangular tab here. And again, you want them to be straight. Connect them nice and straight, even though it seems weird because this thing's all the way out here. These need to be straight up against each other. Okay, give that a second. Should we do 4? I don't know. I think I'm just going to stick with 3. 1, 2, 3. Dab, dab, dab. See, that one felt really wet. That one might not dry as quickly, but that's okay. All right, again, just kind of follow the natural curve. Make sure everything is nice and aligned. And there's 3. I probably could have done 4. Probably actually could have done them all, but I know sometimes when I try to do too much, I always end up paying for it, so I'm gonna be a little conservative. So I'm a conservative kind of guy. Okay. All right, dab, dab, dab. Last 3 tabs. Moving right along. Making up a song. There we go. All right, well, there's only one more that we need to actually connect, and then we just need to kind of connect it all together by joining the 2 sides together. So pretty much done here. This is pretty repetitive, so if you want to kind of skip ahead, you can. All right, now this is number 8. It's basically 2 little circles made up of, each circle made up of 4 lines. Okay, so there's 8, and we're gonna get that glued down, starting at the top here. Dab, dab, dab. Make sure that those lines are nice and lined up, nice and straight, right up against each other. And give it a squeeze. Gotta hold that in place. That's our little anchor. My finger's really sticky. All right, let's move that out of the way. All right, I'm about to get crazy. I'm going 4. I'd be interested to see if any of you got crazier than I did and you did more than 4. If you did, tell me in the comments on YouTube how many you did. I'm afraid to try it because I don't want to have to recut everything and do this all over again. So I'm being conservative. Tell me if you did more than 4. And then if you leave a comment and someone else sees that you did 5, you might help speed up their process a little bit. And I'm sure they'd appreciate that. Okay, so again, now this is, again, going to get a little trying here because we've got this piece here kind of getting in the way, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. And then just get those last 2 tabs. And just dab those a little bit. Let's get those connected. And bam. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to join this whole piece together. And boy, we're getting close. All right, so I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. Now I'm going to fold these tabs just to kind of loosen up those fibers a little bit. Okay, and all that's left to do now is connect this all together. So I'm going to start with this triangular tab here, and we're going to have to work that glue in from the inside, which might be, it'll be a little challenging, but we'll be all right. Again, just make sure that you line this up nice and even, nice and straight. There we go. And then the rest of it, we're gonna have to poke it out a little bit so we can get that natural curve that was created here. And actually, I need to throw a little bit more glue on there, and I need to be more patient with this. You really, 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 really want to let this set, because this is what's going to help create that curve that we have on this piece. It's hold it nice and tight until it fully sets. Okay. And you can see how it's going to end up. And you can see how it's kind of slanted a little bit. It's almost going sideways a tad. Okay, so now we're gonna have to kind of work from the inside. And you can see that tab. There's a little bit of light hitting it. There we go. You can see it there. Just go ahead and get a little glue on there. And just flatten it out. And as soon as we get that second tab down, the rest of it's gonna kind of fall into place. There we go. Easy. You guys, you got this. All right, next tab. See if I can get some light on there. I don't think so. Let's see. Oh, there it is. There it is right there. Yep, you can see that next tab there. I mean, you guys can see it. We've done this enough, but I just want to show you. We've done the same process so many times already that there's nothing new going on here. It's the same old thing we've been doing all the way around, just connecting the tabs one by one. But I just kind of want to show you and illustrate what I'm doing. There it is, you can see it there. Just throwing a little glue on there, and then after I squeeze the glue on there, I'm just kind of using the nozzle to brush it around a little bit. Okay, got a few more, and now I could probably just, you see that? You can see those two tabs right there that are sticking up. They look like little pyramids. I'm just gonna throw a couple drops of glue on those, dab it slightly. Okay, and then I'm doing the next two here. Probably gonna go from, what's comfortable. Whatever's comfortable for you. And again, just make sure that you line it up nicely with the other side there. Okay, and that one like that. Here we go. And that just leaves one more little tab here. You can see it right here. Can you see it? Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's the last tab. Okay, and that's gonna close it up. There we go. And I'd say that looks pretty darn good. Now, let's see how this sits. Sits nice and flat. And our hat, let's find 1 and 2, left eye, right eye. And you can see how beautifully that fits on there. Perfectly, actually. Look at that. Okay. Well, I think it's safe to say that we're kind of on the home stretch here. Hard part's over. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to stick this in. And we're going to glue this to the base, like so. Okay, and then we're going to put our panels on. So what we want to do is I'm going to start by putting glue on tab 1 and tab 2. And I'm just going to pop that in. It doesn't matter which side or where you're at. Get your hand in there and take that tab and push it up against the inside of the wall on this, and then just push down there. Make sure you've got it nice and centered, nice and flush. And then same thing with 2. Just like that. Okay. And now we just have to glue the rest of the tabs. So what you're going to want to do is you want to flip these tabs up. Take them and flip them up so you can get glue on them. Okay, so you can see, hopefully, there you go. Okay, so this is 1 and 2 right here. You can see that the tabs are already glued down. And then you can see there on the right there, that one right there, we're going to put glue on the underside of that tab. I'll show you what I mean by that. Just a little bit of glue. You don't need a lot. See if I can hold this down and not get my finger in there. Okay, see if you can see that. Make sure I'm illustrating this properly. So there's the tab. Okay, and then it's going to go down and under. Hold on. Down and under, and we're going to glue that to the inside of this piece here. Make sure that all of your tabs are all the way in. There we go. And then just wedge that in there. Make sure it's nice and flush. And there's going to be a little bit of string around the base of this, so even if it's not completely perfect, it'll be hidden pretty well. And actually, what I'm probably going to do is scoot over to the back of this and get the back anchored in place so that it sits a little bit better. But I'll show you that again. Oh, that was way too much glue. Get off my finger. All right, so going to the opposite side here. Let me push that down so you can see. Okay, so there's the glue on the tab, and that tab is going to go under. You're going to push that down and under, and I'm pushing it up against the inside of this section here to get it to stick. Okay, that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to finish the rest of the tabs here. I've got 4 more, and just a little bit of glue just so it sticks. You don't need to cover up the whole thing. We just want it to be anchored in place. We don't want it flailing around. That looks good. Okay, I've got a couple more here. Just gluing it to the inside of the base, up against the inner wall. I'm pretty sure that the way that I just illustrated it will make sense to you. So hopefully you're okay. There we go. Just like that. Okay. All right, so the base is connected to the head. Now all that's left to do is put our little panels on for the face. Okay. And now remember, this is left eye, this is right eye. Now, what we're going to do with the panels, for the face, the panels are not going to have any space between the center here. They're going to be butted up against each other as close as possible. There's going to be a little bit of a border on this side though. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take and put some glue up at the top, just up at the top, and then for this one here, I'm just going to do the bottom, and then I'm also going to put some glue along the side on this one too. And then also maybe a little bit, I'm just going to dab around the little stitch area, just so that sticks nicely. Okay, so this is our left eye. This is going on panel 1. I'm going to start up at the top. Make sure that it's nice and flush up at that score mark on top, and also nice and flush on the center here. It should be right up against that seam right there. Okay, and then just press that down. And you can kind of make it overlap ever so slightly so that his face looks a little more seamless once we get this all together. Okay, but I'm pretty happy with how that looks. And that little area there on the stitches, I'm going to need to put a little bit more glue on that so that it stays down. I didn't get enough on there. Let me just paint a little bit of glue under there. Just a tiny bit. And just give that a press so that it sits nice and flush. There we go. Okay, left side of his face is done. Now it's going to be the right side of his face, and that's going to go like that. So again, try to get that as close as you can so that you don't see any of the brown. You want it to kind of almost overlap ever so slightly, like that. That's going to look perfect. Okay, so let's get our glue right up at the top, right up at the bottom of the panel. Let's go along the side and then around the stitch a little bit too. I didn't get enough on the stitch last time. I'm gonna throw a little extra on there this time. I'm still gonna spread it out nice and thin. I don't want any of that glue shooting out anywhere. I want it to just get on there and stick. Okay, all right, so you can start at the bottom, start at the top, doesn't really matter. I'm gonna start right there. Position it nicely so that it almost overlaps, or it gives the illusion that it's overlapping. I want his face to look kind of seamless, like there's no brown back there, okay? Got a little extra glue there, but that's okay. It's still gonna look good. Just like that. Okay. That is a job well done. Perfect. Okay. I'm very happy with that. All right, now, so remember, we know that this is 1 and 2. So now we want to go over to 3. This is 3. And now from here on out, we're going to have borders on both sides. Okay, we're not scooching this over. There's going to be borders now. So you want to try to make sure you have a nice even border on both sides. Now with these pieces here with the stitches, I'm going to recommend that we put some glue in the area of the stitch just to kind of keep that area down. Okay. Definitely get that glue out to the bottom. Kind of dab it around the stitch, right up to the very edge at the top. And I'm not concerned about putting glue on this side here because I think it's going to stay for us nicely anyway. All that other glue will do the trick, just like that. And don't worry about the fact that we have the numbers written in on this little area up here because we're going to be gluing the hair or the hay or the straw to that area. So it'll be covered up. We've thought it through. Props to Diana for making the assembly on this very easy. because again, this is my first time making this thing, just like you, and it's working great. All right, let's find number 4. This is number 4. It's important that you do it in the right sequence because this box is, it's shaped weird, and if you don't use the right pieces in the right place, it will look weird. It won't fit together right. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue just on the top and bottom. I think that's all we need. Start at the bottom and make sure you got a nice even border on both sides. Hold that down and then just wrap it around the natural curve of our box and press up at the top, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna say that's pretty good. So 3, 4, let's find number 5. 5 is the circle with the 1 next to it. So let's just go top and bottom, spread that out. And again, make sure you've got a nice even border on both sides and just wrap it around. And just hold at the top, hold at the bottom until it sets nicely. There we go. Okay, so that was 5. Let's find our number 6, the circle with the two lines. Nice and flat. And the area with the numbers is always going to go at the top, so that's also helpful. Nice even border, get it centered, pop it right at the base, make sure it's flush with the base, and then squeeze up at the top, push down on the bottom. There we go. Perfect. Number 8, got the circle with the 3 lines. A little bit of glue at the top, a little at the bottom. Spread it thin. Nice even border. Push it up against that base, wrap it, and press. Perfect. Okay, I think we got it. And number 8, now this one has some little stitches on it, so of course, let's get a little bit of glue around the stitches, especially in those little corner sections where we don't want it peeling back. And just dab that right around those areas, nice and thin there. And this, of course, is going to have a border as well. So pop it up against the base, center it, and just wrap it right along that natural curve. And focus on that little area there with the stitch to make sure those areas stay put. Squeeze the top. There we go. If you have any of the little areas of the stitches kind of popping out, you can always go back in with that little painting tip. Just put a little bit of glue on a scrap piece of paper and just push that down, give it a little extra love right about there. Okay. All right, so there's 1 and 2. You can tell because there's like no seam there. And look at that. That's really cute looking so far. So we've got hair and some eyes to throw down on this thing. And we're pretty much done. I think I'm going to do the eyes and all that stuff first. So let's go ahead and construct the mouth and the eyes and the nose, and we'll get those in place. The mouth is made up of these two pieces here. We've got this and then these two little circles. So let's just glue these circles down onto the little shadow area there. Make sure you get it nice and centered. I didn't do a very good job of that. There we go. And the other one. There we go. Okay. And then let's take a look at our eyes. Okay, we've got these two black pieces, and what we're going to do is we're going to find our white pieces. Okay, and the white piece is going to go like this on both sides. So we get those glued down, and then there's a blue piece, and I think oh no, I didn't. I almost thought for a second that I lost some pieces, but I didn't. Blue piece is going to go like that. Just like that. Okay, other one like that. Or what? No, there we go. Like that. And then we've got these tiny little commas almost that are going to go like that. Okay. Hello, Mr. Elderbug. Okay, so let's get our eyes glued down. I'm going to start with the white piece. And my glue bottle is nasty. You nasty. Just a little bit. And there's two little markers there on the black piece to help you with the alignment, although it is pretty self-explanatory. And there's going to be a thin little black area around there to kind of make it look nice. Okay, and then let's make sure we got the right blue piece there, and we do. So we'll take that, get a little bit of blue on there, or a little bit of glue on the blue. Okay, and then just glue that right on top of the white, like so. Okay, so you got that. And then where'd my other comma go? There he is. There's my other comma. Tiny little comma piece. Just need a tiny little bit of glue. And I'll pop that on right about there. Just like that. Okay. So do the same thing to the other eye. And then we have a nose element as well. I'll show you how that works here in just a second. And then we just gotta take him to the salon, get him some hair, and he's ready. He's ready to roll. Okay, so there's the white part. And then let's go with the blue. Just pop that in place. Okay, and our little comma. Just a tiny little dab of glue on there. And just pop that. Whoops. Come here, you comma. comma here. That was a good one. Okay. All right, so eyes and mouth are done. The nose is made up of these two pieces here. There are there's a couple little score marks on here, little tabs. What we're gonna do is we're gonna connect these two pieces. We need to do that because of the seam there. We couldn't put a flat piece on there. So I'm gonna put glue on all 4 tabs. I think I can do this in one shot and just connect this piece like so. You can kind of fold it flat onto itself to help with applying pressure so that well, actually, I don't think you can. It's a weird shape, so just glue the tabs together, or glue the tabs to the other side there. And then I'm probably going to hit that with some ink because there's a lot of white there, and I don't want that showing through. So you kind of just glue in the nose like that with the 2 pieces. Okay. Let's give that a really good squeeze so it sticks. And then grab my ink. And I'm just going to hit the middle of that thing. It's a little nosy. Yeah, I might actually just take the whole ink pad. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so now depending on what kind of paper you used, you should be able to see some markers on this. And I can kind of see them. This paper makes it a little difficult to see. Okay, so I'm gonna have to really get my head in here to see this. So I'm gonna have to really get my head in here to be able to see what I'm doing. So I might have to do this off camera, but you will see, depending on what kind of paper you used, in my case, I used something that really doesn't allow for the little marks to show very well. But you'll see little markers to help you identify where to place the the various facial features. So I'm gonna put those on. There's 2 of them here for the eye. I'm gonna have to do this off camera so that I get it right, but it kind of goes like that. And there's another one pretty much symmetrically off to the side there for the right eye. So let's get our eyes in place and then we'll work on the rest of it here. Okay, so I was able to see it by moving it around, but you'll see that there's a little section here, a little section here, and a little section here to help you place that eye in the correct spot. So this down here, I can see a little line there, right here, and then right at the top, I can kind of see that line there too. So your eyes are gonna go on like that. Okay, so I might need to do that off camera again because I really had to get my head in there. But you should be able to spot it. You might have to move it around and get the light to hit it just right, depending on what kind of paper you're using. Okay, so just take your time. I mean, we've come this far, may as well get it done right. There we go. And it looks pretty good. There we go, just hold that in place. Boy, this Scarecrow's got some nice lashes, huh? I wonder who his hairdresser is, or who his whatever it is. Hairdressers usually do lashes, don't they? I don't know. All right, so there are his pretty little eyes. And then gotta look around to find the little markers for the nose. And I believe I see them. Okay, so for our nose, there's a little marker right about here. And if you place the bottom of the nose there, you should see that the top of the nose comes up to just below the little blue area of the eyes. Okay, so that's how you know that you've got it pretty much in the right spot. And I wouldn't worry so much about getting this thing perfectly, flush with the actual face. We can try to kind of curl it a little bit with a dowel, but it also has to bend the other way, so it's going to want to uncurl. So just do your best to get that to sit on there. Just throw a little bit of glue on the back of the nose. And again, make sure you follow where that little marker is. There it is right there. And just press that on there. And actually, curling it did kind of help. It may want to kind of come undone a little bit at the bottom or at the top, depending on where you started. But as long as you hold it in place for just a moment, it should sit nicely for you. I have a cute little nose for him, just like that. There we go. Okay, and last but not least, we've got his little mouth, and that's going to go right about there. Now we want to go ahead and kind of crease this in the middle a little bit. Don't crease it completely, just fold it ever so slightly, and that's going to go just below the eyeballs. And there's actually a little marker there as well, and that's going to be for the top. The marker should be flush with the top of the center of his little mouth there. Okay, so all right, guys, so we're almost there. You can see how cool that looks, and that cap fits nice and snug. You can totally bring it with you to your Thanksgiving, fill it with some goodies, whatever you want to put in there, obviously. All that's left to do is to give him some hair, okay? And what we're gonna do is, we've got all these pieces here, okay? And I'm gonna flip these over because I inked these, and I inked them with the same color, but they vary a little bit. And what we want to do is we want to alternate light and dark, or lighter and darker. So I'm just flipping these over to the side that was not inked, just to make it easier to decipher what's what. And we're going to be putting hair on all the sides except for the sides with his face. And it's going to go dark, light, dark. Okay, so what we want to do is find some dark pieces. So let's, for example, I'm going dark, light, and then a couple of small dark pieces. There's one side. I'm going to go dark, light, and then a couple pieces there. I'm going to go dark, light, and one dark there. And we go dark, light, and a couple darks there. Then we're going dark, light, dark, dark, light, dark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, perfect. All right, so that's how we're gonna put them on. It's totally random, doesn't matter what goes where. It's just, we just wanna give them some hair. And we're gonna be gluing these, starting with the dark piece, right over the little areas and just below the little top where the hat's gonna go on. So it's gonna go on like that. And then once we get them glued, we're gonna kind of curl it and give it some oomph. So let's begin by just putting a little bit of glue just up at the top. We don't need to put any glue on the actual hair strands. Okay, so just glue them right there, like so. Okay, so there's my dark piece there. Then I'm going to do the lighter piece and just glue that right on top of that piece there. And then maybe just one little lighter piece or darker piece like right there. Okay, so there's one section. Moving on to the next section, going with the darker piece first. And just line that up, cover up that little area where we drew on the numbers. Okay, then the lighter piece. Just thin that out a little bit, right over that piece. And then maybe one light piece here. And then, you know what, I'm going to grab another darker piece, I should say, from the other set here and just put that one right here, just like that. And then moving right along, start with the darker shade. Just glue that right up along that edge there. There we go. Next piece. Just right on there, right on top of it. And then let's throw a couple pieces on there. Just anywhere. Just have fun with it. And then kind of let this set a little bit and grab our dowel and then just kind of, you know, it's like grabbing a curling iron and just curling his hair just to kind of make it a little more interesting. And just working our way around. So I'm actually already super excited about how this piece has turned out. And this is just gonna, this little hair that we're adding is really gonna be the cherry on top to really make him look like a scarecrow. Okay. Next little section here. So we should have, yeah, 2 sections left. That's exactly right. Okay, here we go. Just get that in place. And the next one. There we go. And this one's going to have 2 little individual strands. And again, no rhyme or reason, just have some fun and be random and get them all on there. And now you could technically train these before you put them on. I just figure since we're pushing these down and kind of messing with them that probably would lose some of its oomph anyway, so I don't really think it matters when you do it. Okay, and one more here, just to kind of finish that off. Okay, so this is where this side should be pretty set. I would put my finger here just to hold all these down and then just start curling these out or in, however you want to do it. I'm going to curl some of these out, curl some of them in. And you could give some of these kind of like a sideways curl so it kind of sticks out like that. And maybe give it a little bit more of a curl so you can see how that looks compared to the flat side there. So just gonna work your way around and just kind of finesse these little pieces until you have his hair exactly how you want it. And that's pretty much it for this project. I'm gonna probably add a little bit of bling to some of the parts here and there. So take a look at the final photo before the video or on the website, on the product page, to kind of see what other things we did to sort of embellish our little scarecrow here. But that's pretty much it. So if you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. It tells us that you like hanging out with us and that we're doing a good job. And if you do make this or any of the items from our new bundle, please visit us in the official Facebook group on Facebook. Head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Group. I think last count, we're at about 7,700 dreamers hanging out and just, you know, kind of motivating everybody else to give it their best and inspiring everyone. So I hope you join us and show us what you've done with our projects. And as always, I look forward to crafting with you again.
Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.